Chosen one. Listen closely, because this is not a coincidence. This moment was appointed before the foundation of the earth. Heaven has paused everything around you so you could hear these words. You were not created to blend into the crowd. You were marked from the beginning, set apart before your first breath, designed with purpose that the world could not erase. Every step, every season, every storm you endured has been proof that you are not ordinary. You are God's chosen. Before you ever learned to walk, heaven had already written the blueprint of your journey. You were not random. Your soul carried a seal that the darkness could detect. And that is why battles found you early. You wondered, why me? Why does it feel like the world has been heavier on my shoulders than on others? The answer is this: because you are chosen. The oil that rests upon your life made you a target. But that same oil will be the reason you rise above what others could never survive. Hear me, this is not about luck. It is about destiny. You were set apart in silence. Even in your mother's womb, the Spirit of God whispered promises over you long before you ever spoke your first word. The enemy saw it. He recognized the mark on your life and swore to crush it before it could bloom. That is why rejection followed you. That is why betrayal broke you. That is why loneliness clung to your nights. Because hell itself feared what you would become once you realized who you truly are. But still, you did not give up. You carried wounds that others would have surrendered under. You carried burdens that would have destroyed weaker vessels. Yet, somehow, there was always a whisper deep within that said, "Hold on. Don't quit. This is not the end." That whisper was not your imagination. It was heaven breathing life into your spirit. You see, the world may have looked at you and seen nothing remarkable. But heaven saw a warrior in disguise. The people around you may have underestimated you. But God knew what He planted inside of you. The very thing others ignored is the very thing God is now about to reveal. Do not be deceived by appearances. What is hidden will be brought into the light. What was buried will rise again. The Apostle reminds us in his first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 27. God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak to shame the strong. You, chosen one, are the living evidence of this truth. The very areas that felt like weakness are about to become your testimony of strength. There were moments when you looked in the mirror and could not recognize the purpose in your reflection. You asked, "Am I really chosen? Could God have meant me?" But look at your story. How many times did grace step in when destruction was near? How many times did unseen hands pull you out of situations you thought would finish you? That was not coincidence. It was divine intervention. Chosen one. Your life is the battlefield where light and darkness clashed. And though the fight was fierce, though you walked through valleys that made you question your survival, you are still here. That fact alone is a miracle. That fact alone is proof of divine selection. You were marked, preserved, and carried by a power beyond your own strength. And now, hear this with urgency. Heaven is preparing to release the miracle you have been waiting for. The reason? Because you never gave up. Every tear, every cry in the midnight hour, every time you felt invisible but still kept walking, that became the key that unlocked the gates of heaven's reward. Your faithfulness in the dark has qualified you for light. Your refusal to surrender has triggered a release. This is not just about survival anymore. This is about elevation. You are about to soar higher than you have ever dreamed. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, Verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. Chosen one. Your wings are unfolding now. The season of crawling is over. The season of rising has begun. Do not let doubt creep in at this threshold. This word is not for everyone scrolling past. It is for you. The seal upon your life is undeniable. And this is your confirmation. Heaven is about to showcase what was hidden in you all along. The very trials you thought would bury you have actually watered the soil of your miracle, and the harvest is ready. Now I ask you, as a prophetic act of faith, to align with this message. If your spirit is stirred, if you know deep down this word is for you, then pause and respond. Type the number 111 in the comments right now. It is more than digits. It is your declaration that you receive this release, that you accept your wings, and that you step boldly into your miracle season. And as you do, I invite you to like this message. Share it with another chosen one who needs this word. And subscribe so you never miss the flow of heaven's voice through this channel. Stay connected. For what God has begun in you is only the beginning of greater glory to come. Chosen one. The weight you carried was never small, and it was never meaningless. From the earliest days, burdens pressed upon your shoulders in ways others could not understand. While many lived lightly, your life felt heavier, as though invisible stones were tied to your soul. Every rejection, every disappointment, every betrayal became a piece of evidence that your path was not ordinary. You bore battles that were not yours alone, for the mark upon your spirit attracted struggles beyond the natural. Think back to the seasons when you questioned why people turned against you without reason. They misjudged your intentions. They pushed you aside, and they left you standing in the shadows. To you, it seemed unfair, cruel, even. But in heaven's perspective, it was confirmation of your assignment. The world rarely fights what it does not fear, and the intensity of your battles revealed the weight of your calling. It was not just people. Circumstances also rose like waves against your life. Financial pressures, broken relationships, sickness, loneliness. These storms came not once but repeatedly, and yet, through each wave, you stood. You may have bent, you may have stumbled, but you never shattered. Others fell under far lighter loads. But you, chosen one, carried on. Why? Because you are not ordinary clay. You are a vessel refined by fire, designed to endure where others collapse. The very heaviness you carried was heaven's proof that you could withstand. Nothing touches the chosen without divine allowance. And if it was permitted, it was because strength had already been placed within you. And yet, in the quiet of the night, you asked the questions only your pillow heard. Why me? God, why does it feel like everything falls on me? Why can't I live easy, unnoticed, untouched by trouble? In those moments, you did not realize that your hidden tears were being written in heaven's scrolls. Every sigh, every cry became a testimony that you were shouldering a weight that pointed toward destiny. Chosen one, I need you to see this clearly. The rejection was redirection, the betrayal was instruction, and the loneliness was preparation. You carried what you did so that one day, when the miracle is revealed, no one will be able to say it was random. They will know it was earned through endurance. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans for hope, a future. Do you see it? The weight was never meant to crush you. It was meant to shape you into someone who could carry the future God has already designed. The very heaviness you hated is proof that your story is interwoven with divine purpose. Consider this: diamonds are created under extreme pressure, and gold is purified through fire. So it has been with you. Every pressure shaped you. Every fire refined you. You thought you were breaking, but you were becoming. What you endured has carved strength into your bones and wisdom into your spirit. You now carry insights others could never gain, because you have walked through shadows they have never seen. Do not despise the weight. It was your tutor, your chiseling, your molding. It taught you discernment, so you could recognize truth from lies. It taught you endurance, so you could stand when others fall. It taught you compassion, so you could comfort others with the comfort you yourself received from God. The weight did not come to end you, it came to prepare you. Think of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, imprisoned for lies he did not commit. The weight on his life was heavy, unfair, suffocating. Yet all of it was shaping him to one day carry the responsibility of feeding nations. Chosen one. Your story is no different. The heaviness you endured is the seedbed of the greatness you will reveal. Yes, there were times you wanted to walk away, to quit, to abandon the journey. But still, you carried it. That stubbornness to keep walking, even under the weight, was not human strength alone. It was grace flowing through you. Heaven equipped you with endurance others cannot explain. One day soon, those who laughed at you, those who left you, those who spoke against you will realize the truth. The reason you carried so much was because you were chosen to hold what others cannot. When your miracle breaks forth, the same voices that mocked will marvel. So, do not despise your scars. Do not hate the heaviness. Every scar is evidence of survival. Every tear is a seed of joy waiting to bloom. You have carried the weight not in vain, but as proof of who you are. And now, the very load that once crushed your shoulders will become the crown that rests upon your head. Chosen one. The weight you carried was never punishment, it was prophecy. Chosen one. The nights of silent tears were not wasted. Heaven collected them, each one like a hidden jewel in the treasury of God. Those tears were not weakness, they were prayers in liquid form. Even when no words left your lips, your cries rose before the throne, and heaven leaned in to listen. You remember those nights well, lying in the stillness, staring at the ceiling, wondering if anyone saw you. Your heart ached so deeply you could not explain it to another soul. Friends could not understand. Family could not carry it. And so you carried it alone, except you were never truly alone. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 56, verse 8, "You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. Oh, chosen one." Do you hear this? Every hidden tear was recorded. Not one slipped unnoticed. The very nights you thought forgotten by God were in fact the nights He drew closest. Your bed became an altar, your pillow soaked with the incense of your prayers. Heaven does not waste suffering. and your tears became seeds planted in soil you could not yet see. There is a mystery here. Tears have a language that words cannot reach. When your heart was too broken to form sentences, your tears spoke. They carried the weight of your soul directly into the presence of God. And though the answers did not come instantly, the record was sealed. Every cry was stored, waiting for the day of release. You may have asked, why would God let me cry so much? Why so many nights alone? Because, beloved, tears cleanse. Tears prepare. Tears soften the heart so it can carry the miracle when it comes. If the promise had been delivered too early, your heart may have hardened, or your pride may have risen. But the tears watered your soil. They made you ready. Do you see how powerful your endurance is? Darkness wanted those tears to drown you, to convince you that God had abandoned you. But the opposite is true. Those tears became proof that you would not let go. You kept turning to God even when you felt empty. You could have turned away, but you turned toward Him, again and again. This is why your miracle is now near, because you did not waste your midnight hours. You used them to lean into heaven. What others mocked as weakness was, in truth, the greatest strength of all, dependence on God. And now, chosen one, here is what I ask of you. Make a declaration in the comments. Write these words, I still believe. Simple, but powerful. As you write them, you are sealing your faith in front of heaven and earth. You are declaring that though you cried, though you suffered, though you endured lonely nights, your faith has not died. You still believe, and this very act of agreement positions you for the release of what those tears have been watering in secret. Do not underestimate this. To declare, I still believe, is to silence the enemy's accusations that your faith has broken. It is to remind your own soul that the tears did not defeat you. They purified you. It is to announce to the world that your waiting has not been in vain. Think about it. Every plant must be watered before it blooms. Your tears have watered your destiny. They have soaked the ground beneath your feet, and the roots of your calling have grown deeper because of them. This is why the coming miracle will not wither. It is rooted in the soil of your endurance, fed by your tears, guarded by your faith. Chosen one, your silent nights have written a testimony. The world will one day hear. What was hidden in private will be revealed in public. Others will see the strength that grew out of your brokenness, and they will marvel. And when they ask how you survived, you will say, because I still believed. The night of tears was never the end of your story. It was the prologue, and the dawn that is rising now carries answers long delayed. Heaven did not ignore you. It was preparing a miracle too great to waste on the wrong moment. And now, that moment draws near, so hold this truth close. No tear was wasted. No cry was ignored. No night was in vain. The bottle is full. The record is complete. And the release is on its way. Chosen one, your miracle is not just coming, it has already begun to break through, and it will be sweeter because of the tears that paved the way. Chosen one, there were seasons when darkness itself rose like a flood against your life. Not just trials, not just human rejection, but forces beyond what eyes could see. You felt it, the heaviness pressing on your chest, the unseen resistance against your progress. The sudden chaos stirred in places where peace once stood. It was not imagination. Darkness tried to break you because it feared the light you carry. You must understand this. You are not only a human being navigating the ups and downs of life. You are a carrier of divine light. Your very presence unsettles the plans of the enemy. That is why storms formed against you in ways that seemed unreasonable. It was not about you, it was about the oil on your life, the call upon your soul, the destiny written in heaven. Remember the nights when nightmares tormented you, or the days when confusion clouded your mind. That was spiritual warfare. The aim was simple: to silence your voice, to crush your hope, to dim your light before it could shine too brightly. Darkness is terrified of what you carry, and so it launched weapons against you. Yet, through all of it, you endured. Though attacks came from unexpected places, through relationships, through health, through finances, through thoughts of despair, you stood. You may have stumbled, but you did not break. You may have felt weak, but you were never destroyed. We find in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is from me, declares the Lord." Do you see the truth in this? Weapons were indeed formed. Darkness indeed conspired. But not one of those schemes accomplished its goal. You are living proof that the prophecy stands: no weapon prospered. And perhaps you wondered why the attacks were so fierce, why they seemed relentless, why one wave crashed before you could recover from the last. The reason is this: the enemy saw glimpses of what you would become before you saw it yourself. He knew that once you awakened fully to your identity as the chosen, his grip on you would shatter forever. So he tried to break you in the womb of your destiny. He tried to strangle your calling before it could breathe. But what he did not realize was that every attempt to break you only revealed the depth of God's strength within you. Every attack became a testimony of resilience. Every battle carved more faith into your spirit. The very storms sent to drown you trained you how to walk on water. Chosen one. Hear this clearly. You terrify the darkness. Your prayers unsettle demons. Your worship breaks chains unseen. Your persistence is a weapon the enemy cannot endure. Even your silence, even your quiet endurance, burns like fire in the camp of the adversary. You are more dangerous to darkness than you know. This is why you must stop seeing yourself as weak. Yes, you have scars, but scars are evidence of survival, not defeat. Yes, you faced shadows, but shadows cannot exist without light. And your light, though it flickered at times, never went out. That light is your mark. It is why the enemy cannot touch you beyond what heaven permits. There is a paradox here. The greater the light, the greater the opposition. Diamonds do not form without pressure. Champions are not born without battles. And the chosen cannot emerge without warfare. But you, beloved, have already proven your victory by still being here. If darkness had its way, you would not be reading these words. The fact that you are here means the war has already been decided. You are the victor. Do not despise the battles of your past. They revealed the truth. You are unbreakable because the one within you is greater than the one against you. Those battles trained your spirit to stand. And though you did not realize it, angels were surrounding you, shielding you, reinforcing you when your strength was gone. You never fought alone. Chosen one. Let this sink in. The very battles that tried to destroy you are now part of your arsenal. They taught you wisdom. They taught you authority. They taught you how to discern light from darkness, truth from deception. What once came to break you now equips you to stand taller, stronger, unshakable. Darkness tried to break you, but it failed. And now, every failed attempt has become a stepping stone. You rise not in spite of the battle, but because of it. You shine not because you avoided the night, but because you endured it and still carry light. Chosen one. The war against your destiny only proved the weight of your calling. Do not fear what lies ahead. If the past battles could not destroy you, neither will the future ones. Your light is eternal, for it is not yours alone. It is the light of heaven within you, and that light cannot be extinguished. Chosen one. There were moments when you stumbled, when your strength seemed to fail, and when the weight of life nearly crushed you to the ground. Yet in those very moments, though unseen, there was always a hand, steady, firm, unyielding, lifting you back to your feet. That hand was not the hand of man. It was the unseen hand of God. Imagine a child learning to walk. They take a few steps, wobble, and fall. Yet always, a parent is nearby, ready to catch, ready to lift, ready to steady those trembling legs. So it has been with you. Every stumble you thought would be your end became a lesson wrapped in protection, because the unseen hand never let you shatter. Think of a potter shaping clay. The clay spins on the wheel, fragile, uneven, at risk of collapsing, but the potter's hand steadies it, applies pressure where needed, removes excess, and adds water when the clay feels dry. That is what God has been doing in your life. Every season of breaking was not for destruction, but for shaping. Every collapse was met with hands that reshaped you into something stronger, more beautiful, more refined. The ancient words recorded in Psalms, chapter 37, verse 24, declare, though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. Now, hear this clearly. This unseen hand has not only preserved you, but has positioned you, like a master gardener lifting branches weighed down with fruit. God has lifted you so your life might bear the harvest heaven intended. What others see as coincidence is actually orchestration. What looked like delay was preparation. What felt like abandonment was, in truth, divine alignment. And now, I speak to your heart with sincerity. Just as the unseen hand has supported you, this channel has been a hand reaching out to lift and strengthen your spirit. These messages are not random content. They are seeds of life, poured out to nourish your soul. If they have touched you, if they have steadied your heart in seasons of trembling, then I humbly ask, extend that same hand to others. How? In the simplest yet most powerful ways. By liking this message, you help it rise, as though lifting a candle higher so its flame can be seen by more souls in the night. By sharing it, you are planting seeds in gardens you cannot see, letting light reach hearts hidden in shadows. By subscribing, you are saying, I will not walk alone. I will stay connected to this stream of living words. And by giving, even a small donation, you become like the sower in the field, casting seed that multiplies far beyond what you can imagine. ensuring that this well never runs dry for the thirsty. Your life has already shown that you understand endurance, sacrifice, and perseverance. Supporting this work is simply an extension of that endurance. It ensures that the same strength you have received can reach another, chosen one, who right now may be weeping in silence, ready to quit. If your heart is stirred, act not out of pressure, but out of love, because love is what sustains. Love is what multiplies. Love is what mirrors the unseen hand of God, steady, quiet, always lifting others when they stumble. Think of how many times you wished someone had sent you the right word at the right time. Now you have the power to be that for someone else. By helping this message continue, you are placing a lifeline in the hand of another soul walking through their darkest night. Chosen one, you are not only called to receive miracles, but to become part of miracles for others. The unseen hand that has carried you now asks you to extend your hand to lift another. When you do, you step into the very heartbeat of God, for He has always been about giving, sustaining, and multiplying life. Never forget you are part of something bigger than yourself. Every click, every share, every seed sown, every act of connection is part of heaven's weaving. The unseen hand is not only holding you, but guiding you to become that unseen hand for another soul. So let this word settle deep. You are held. You are steadied. You are preserved. You did not fall, because the unseen hand never released you. And now, your story is shifting from survival to significance, not only for you, but for those who will be lifted through your yes, through your faith, through your willingness to act. Chosen one, you have faced many delays, prayers unanswered, doors shut, opportunities that slipped away like sand through your fingers. It seemed as if heaven was silent while your heart ached for movement. You whispered, "When, Lord, how much longer?" And still, the waiting stretched on. But hear me clearly, delay was never denial. What you thought was rejection was actually redirection. What you saw as silence was preparation. The Father was not withholding, He was orchestrating, for if the blessing had arrived too soon, it would have met an unready vessel. The soil of your spirit needed to be tilled. Your faith needed to deepen. Your discernment needed to sharpen. Only then could you hold what heaven intended to place in your hands. Think of an arrow pulled back on a bow. The further it is drawn backward, the greater the force with which it will fly forward. That has been your story. The delays were not wasted time. They were the tension that now guarantees acceleration. The further you were pulled back, the farther you will be launched. The Word of God declares in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarries. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not delay." End. Chosen one, your appointed time is near. The delay was only proof that there is an appointed time. If God had no plan for you, there would have been no waiting, no warfare, no stretching. The very resistance you felt was the evidence of the greatness reserved for you. The stretching of your soul was never punishment, it was strengthening. Like muscles torn to grow stronger, your spirit was stretched so it could carry more. The resistance you faced is the very evidence that heaven trusted you with heavier glory. Chosen one, the silence you endured was not absence but intimacy. God hid you, in a secret place so your roots could deepen. What seemed like abandonment was actually covering. He shielded you from exposure until the season of revealing. And now, the weight you carried in waiting becomes the crown you will wear in victory. Delay has turned into destiny. The very nights of questioning are about to turn into mornings of answers, filled with joy, unspeakable. Consider the story of Sarah and Abraham. They waited decades for the promised child, and every year seemed to mock the word they had received. Yet in the end, the promise came exactly when heaven intended, and its arrival silenced the laughter of doubt. So it will be for you. Your delay is about to turn into sudden manifestation, and the very people who questioned you will witness what heaven was preparing. Do not despise the waiting. Waiting purified you. Waiting protected you. Waiting taught you to pray when answers were far away, to trust when evidence was absent, to endure when hope was fragile. Now you carry a strength others cannot fathom, because you learned to walk with God in the silence. Chosen one, your waiting was like a seed hidden beneath soil. From the outside, it seemed nothing was happening, but in secret, roots were forming, depth was growing, and unseen life was preparing to burst forth. The delay was the womb of your miracle, and now the womb is ready to deliver. The doors you thought closed forever will open without your effort. The opportunities you thought were lost will return in greater measure. The prayers you whispered in weakness are about to echo with strength in answered form. Delay was never denial. It was proof that what is coming is worth the wait. And here, at this moment, I ask you to respond with a prophetic act. Comment the number 444 below. Why? Because 4 is the number of stability, foundation, and divine order. By writing 444, you are declaring that your life is aligning with heaven's timing, that the foundations are set, and that what God promised will manifest without delay. Do not see this as mere numbers. See it as a prophetic stamp on your own spirit. When you type 444, you are saying, I am ready. I trust the timing. I receive the promise. And heaven takes notice of such declarations. Remember, chosen one, delays are only dangerous if they make you quit. But you did not quit. You endured. You prayed. You held on. And because you never gave up, heaven has prepared the miracle that is now about to be released. The arrow is about to fly. The seed is about to bloom. The appointed time is about to arrive, and you will testify that every delay was worth it. Chosen one, the furnace of refinement was not something you asked for, yet it became unavoidable. You did not volunteer for pain, but it found you. You did not choose betrayal, but it visited you. You did not desire loss, yet it carved its mark across your journey. And through it all, you were being refined. Refinement is never comfortable. Fire never feels gentle to the gold it burns. But without the fire, impurities remain hidden, buried within the surface. It is only when flames rise and heat intensifies that what does not belong begins to surface and burn away. So it has been with your life. Chosen one. Every hardship was a furnace. Every heartbreak was a flame. Every disappointment was heat pressing against you. And though it hurt, though it broke pieces of you, it was shaping you into something stronger, purer, unshakable. You thought you were being destroyed, but you were being refined. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 66, verse 10. For you, God, tested us, you refined us like silver. This is your story. The testing was never to humiliate you, but to cleanse you. The refining was never to waste you, but to prepare you. God looked at your life and saw treasure hidden beneath the dust of experience. The furnace was his tool to reveal it. Think of gold. When it is first mined, it is dull, mixed with rock, dirt, and flaws. But once placed in the furnace, the heat draws the impurities to the surface, and what remains is brilliance. That is why the fire came to you, not to leave you scarred, but to make your essence shine. Remember how, in those seasons, people walked away. They could not endure seeing you in the flames. Some even mocked, whispering that you were finished, that your light was gone. Yet they misunderstood the process. The very heat they thought would consume you was only perfecting you, chosen one. Your spirit learned resilience in the fire. You discovered a deeper strength you never knew you carried. You found a voice of prayer you had not used before. You drew nearer to God, not because it was easy, but because fire forced you into His presence. Do you recall the moments when everything seemed stripped away resources? Friends, stability, that was not coincidence. Refinement always removes what cannot last. What was temporary fell away, so that what is eternal could remain. And though it pained you, it also freed you. The fire set you apart from what would have chained you forever. Look back now with clarity. The furnace did not destroy you. Instead, it removed distractions. It burned away false attachments. It revealed who was truly for you and who was never meant to walk your path. It purified your desires, aligning them with heaven's will. And now you stand clearer, lighter, sharper, chosen one. You may still bear memories of the flames. But remember, the 3 Hebrew men in Babylon's furnace walked out without even the smell of smoke. You too carry scars of memory, but you do not carry the stench of defeat. You carry the fragrance of survival, the aroma of victory. Your refinement has become your testimony. Where others see brokenness, heaven sees brilliance. Where others see ashes, God sees beauty rising. What once made you weep now makes you wise. What once weakened you now empowers you to strengthen others. The furnace has another gift: compassion, because you have known pain. You can recognize it in others because you have walked through fire. You can guide others through theirs. You are no longer naive. You are seasoned, refined, and equipped. Your words carry weight because they were forged in suffering. Chosen one. You must never despise the refining process. It was heaven's way of proving you genuine, of shaping you into a vessel that can carry greater glory without cracking. Without the furnace, the miracle would crush you. With the furnace, you are prepared to hold it. Lift your head. The flames have subsided. The worst is behind you, and what remains is you purified, strengthened, radiant. The furnace of refinement was not your grave, it was your rebirth. You are not who you were before the fire. You are stronger, wiser, unshakable, chosen one. The furnace was never the end. It was always the beginning of the next chapter of glory. Chosen one. One of the heaviest trials you endured was the weight of being misjudged. People looked at you and thought they understood, but they only saw fragments. They drew conclusions without knowing the depths of your heart, without grasping the battles you carried in silence. And because of this, words were spoken against you, words that pierced deeper than swords. You know what it is to be mocked for your uniqueness, to be misunderstood for your silence, to be accused for things you never did. You felt the sting of betrayal, not just from strangers, but from those closest to you. Those you trusted turned their backs. Those you supported withdrew their hand when you needed it most. Their voices rang with judgment, but heaven was listening too, recording every word, every action, every injustice. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. On. Do you see? Chosen one, the voices of people are unstable, shifting like the wind. One moment they cheer you, the next they condemn you. Their opinions are fickle, but the word of God is unchanging. You were never called to be validated by man. You were chosen to be approved by heaven. Consider how many times you explained yourself, yet they still refused to see. No matter how much you gave, it was never enough. And slowly you learned that this was not about them misunderstanding your actions. It was about them being unable to comprehend your calling. For the oil upon your life made you different, and difference is often mistaken for arrogance, pride, or strongness. Chosen one, this is the pain of being set apart. What sets you apart for glory often isolates you from people. What distinguishes you in heaven distances you on earth. But do not weep as though you are forgotten. Heaven has never misjudged you. The one who called you has always known the purity of your intentions, even when the world twisted your story. Think of Joseph again, sold by his brothers, falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, left in prison though innocent. Men misjudged him at every stage. Yet, in the end, heaven vindicated him. So it will be with you. Every tongue that rose against you, every eye that rolled in disdain, every whisper that carried lies, they will all be silenced when God himself lifts you in the open. Chosen one, you endured the ache of wondering, why can't they see my heart? Why do they assume the worst? But through that ache, something powerful was formed. Your reliance on God's validation alone. You no longer live for applause, nor do you crumble under rejection. You have learned the sacred strength of walking with God unseen, trusting that his view outweighs every human gaze. And in this, you became free. Free from the cage of people's opinions, free from the chains of needing approval, free from the lies of comparison. Though painful, the misjudgment birthed a rare gift in you, the ability to stand in truth without needing the crowd's agreement. This is why you shine now with a deeper authenticity. You no longer waste energy defending yourself to those who never intended to understand. You no longer beg for validation from voices that shift like shadows. You walk forward, eyes lifted, because heaven has already written your vindication. Do you realize how dangerous this makes you to the kingdom of darkness? A soul that cannot be manipulated by people's praise or people's rejection is a soul unstoppable. You are no longer swayed by the winds of opinion. You are anchored in the eternal. That anchor is what carries you into the next chapter. Chosen one, let your heart rest. Every word spoken against you unjustly has been recorded. and heaven will answer in its time. Every betrayal you endured is not forgotten, and the same God who lifted Joseph will lift you. When vindication comes, it will not be subtle. It will be so clear that those who once mocked will have no choice but to acknowledge the hand of God upon you. Until then, wear your silence as armor. Let your scars remind you that you survived not because people believed in you, but because God upheld you. And when the day of revealing comes, the same mouths that spoke against you will speak blessings without understanding why. For heaven knows how to turn every false word into fuel for your elevation. Chosen one, never forget, being misjudged was not a curse. It was training. It taught you not to seek man's approval, but God's. It trained you to carry glory without craving applause. It shaped you into a vessel that can endure the spotlight without being corrupted by it. Your story is not ruined by their voices. It is sealed by His voice, and His voice declares, "You chosen, validated, and destined for greatness." Chosen one. There was a season when you came so close to surrendering everything. You stood at the cliff edge of despair, looking into the abyss, wondering if it was worth holding on any longer. You were exhausted, heart weary, spirit crushed, body trembling under invisible weight. In those hours, you whispered to yourself, "Maybe it would be easier if I just stopped trying." The enemy wanted nothing more than to push you off that edge. He wanted you to believe the lie that the darkness would last forever. He wanted your faith extinguished, your hope buried, your purpose abandoned. Yet in that very moment, when you were seconds away from quitting, mercy pulled you back. The apostle reminds us in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 9, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed. Chosen one. This is your story. You were pressed so hard that others would not have survived. You were struck down by blows you never deserved, yet you were not destroyed. You may have bent low, but mercy caught you before you could break completely. Think back to that one night, the one when your tears blurred your vision and you felt like you were screaming into silence. The weight on your chest was so heavy you could hardly breathe. And yet, in the stillness, there was a whisper, not from yourself. Hold on. Do not give up. That whisper was the voice of mercy. That whisper was heaven snatching you back from the cliff's edge. Chosen one. It wasn't your strength that saved you. It was His hand. It wasn't your wisdom that made you endure. It was His grace. Even when you were ready to quit, heaven was not ready to let you go. The reason? You are chosen. Your assignment is too precious. Your calling too significant for you to be lost in despair. Do you realize what this means? You are living proof that God rescues at the edge. Others may not see the battle you fought in secret, but heaven saw it all. And today you stand. Not because life was easy, but because mercy intervened. This is why despair could not claim you. Despair is powerful, but it is not final. Despair is heavy, but it is not eternal. And though you tasted it deeply, you did not remain there. You walked back from the cliff, step by trembling step, because God refused to let your story end in ashes. Chosen one. What you survived is the testimony that you are more resilient than you think. The fact that you're here, breathing, listening, and still open to the voice of heaven proves that despair did not win. You may carry scars, but scars are signs of healing, not evidence of defeat. Now hear this: you will never return to that cliff again. What you walked through was not a cycle, it was a breaking point that became your turning point. You will never be that close to surrender again, because what you gained there was priceless. The knowledge that mercy always arrives right on time. Chosen one, despair tried to push you off the edge, but mercy gave you wings. You learned that even in your lowest place, God's hand is still strong. Even when you whispered, "Enough," heaven whispered, "Not yet." And that is why you are still standing. And now, as a prophetic act of strength, I invite you to make this declaration public. Write in the comments, "I won't quit." Just 3 words, but they carry the weight of your testimony. Every time you type those words, you are declaring to the enemy, to your own soul, and to heaven that you will not be pushed to the cliff again. "I won't quit" is more than a phrase. It is a prophecy over your own life. It is the echo of what you already lived through. It is your reminder that despair tried, but failed. And when others read your declaration, they too will find courage to step back from their own cliff edges. Chosen one, lift your head. The edge was not your end, it was your beginning. The moment you almost quit became the moment mercy defined you. And now, you walk not in fear of falling, but in the confidence that you will never face despair the same way again, because you did not quit. Heaven is preparing to unfold the chapter that despair tried to steal from you. Your story is not one of giving up, but of rising up. Chosen one. When everything around you seemed silent, when the voices of comfort grew faint, there were whispers from eternity stirring within your spirit. They did not come through thunder or lightning, but through a quiet nudge, a gentle knowing, a voice you could not explain, yet could not deny. Those whispers were heaven's guidance, shaping your steps, even when you could not see the path. At times you wondered, is this my imagination? Or is God really speaking to me? But notice how those whispers aligned with truth, how they nudged you away from danger, how they reminded you to keep walking when despair told you to stop. That was not coincidence. It was the voice of eternity calling you forward. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah. Chapter 30, verse 21. Whether you turn right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice. This is the way, walk in it. Oh, chosen one. That voice is real. It is the compass of eternity placed within you. And though others may not hear it, you do. It interrupts your thoughts with conviction. It anchors you when fear rises. It whispers when all else is noise. Think of a ship at sea on a starless night. No map, nor landmarks, only waves and darkness. Yet the captain finds direction through the steady pull of the compass needle. That is what the whispers from eternity have been in your life. When you could not see, the voice within pointed you forward, steadying you through unseen waters. Or think of a shepherd guiding sheep. The sheep do not always understand the path, but they recognize the voice. In the same way, you have learned to lean not on your understanding, but on the familiar pull of God's whisper, guiding you step by step. Chosen one. These whispers are not for decoration, they are lifelines. They pulled you away from destructive decisions. They warned you in moments when your heart was vulnerable. They encouraged you when the weight of life felt unbearable. Every whisper was proof that you are not abandoned. but carefully guided. And now, let me speak from my heart to yours. These messages you are receiving here are also whispers from eternity. They are not accidents of an algorithm. They are signs that heaven is still reaching for you, still guiding, still confirming what you already sense within. If these words are nourishing you, strengthening you, then consider how much they can bless others too. Just as a candle's flame grows brighter when reflected in many mirrors, this light grows when you choose to help it reach others. By liking this message, you lift the flame higher so it can be seen in greater darkness. By sharing it, you pass the torch, lighting fires in places you may never step into. By subscribing, you declare, I will stay connected to this stream of living water. And when you give, when you donate with love, you become like a sower, scattering seeds across fertile ground, ensuring this river never runs dry. Chosen one, think of a well in the desert. When you drink from it, your thirst is quenched. But if no one maintains the well, if no one pours back into it, the water runs out. That is why your support matters. It keeps the well flowing, not just for you, but for countless other souls wandering in dry places. Never see giving as loss. Giving is planting. When a farmer drops a seed into the soil, he does not mourn as if the seed is gone. He knows it will return, multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. In the same way, your generosity flows back to you in ways you cannot predict. So let your actions mirror the whispers of eternity. If the Spirit within you nudges you to support, do so, not out of pressure, but out of love. For love is the language of heaven, and everything birthed in love multiplies. Chosen one, the whispers of eternity are reminders that your life is not random, that you are guided, covered, and positioned just as they pulled you from despair. They are now leading you into destiny. Trust them, lean into them, and act when they stir your heart. For you are not drifting without direction. You are following a compass calibrated by eternity itself. And as you walk forward, both guided and guiding others, your life becomes a living testimony of how powerful a single whisper from heaven can be. Chosen one, something has been shifting around you. At first, it was subtle, a conversation that seemed strangely timely, an opportunity that reappeared after years of silence, an unexpected sense of peace in a place that once brought only heaviness. It may have felt coincidental, but it is not. What you are experiencing is the shift in atmosphere. You see, when heaven begins to move, the natural world starts to bend. Things that were locked suddenly loosen. Paths that seemed blocked begin to open. Even the people around you behave differently, not realizing they are part of a greater orchestration. What you feel is the unseen hand of God, turning the tide in your favor. Think of a storm at sea. For hours the waves rage. The sky is dark, and the sailors lose hope. Then, without warning, the wind shifts. The clouds part. The waves settle. The atmosphere changes. And with it, despair turns into relief. That is what is happening in your spirit. The storm is not eternal. The shift has begun. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Chosen one. This is why the atmosphere is shifting. Fear is lifting from you. Chains of confusion are breaking. The spirit of power, love, and soundness of mind is resting upon you now. Where once there was chaos, there is alignment. Where once there was noise, there is clarity. Notice how even your thoughts are different. What used to trigger anxiety now meets with peace. Where you once questioned if you were capable, now there is a growing confidence, not arrogance, but a quiet strength. This is evidence of heaven's work within you. The shift is not just external, it is internal too. Chosen one. Do not underestimate these subtle changes. A river does not roar at its source. It begins as a small stream, quietly carving its path. In the same way, the shift in your atmosphere begins with small signs that soon become undeniable currents of transformation. Consider how relationships are realigning in your life. Some people are drawing nearer with genuine hearts, while others are drifting away without explanation. Do not grieve the departures. This too is part of the shift. God is removing voices that cannot go with you and sending those who will walk with you into the next chapter. Think also of the sudden sense of expectancy rising within you. You may not see everything clearly, but you feel it that something is near. Something is breaking through. That sense of expectancy is the Spirit stirring your awareness so you can prepare. You are not waiting in vain. You are standing in the early winds of fulfillment. Chosen one. The shift in atmosphere is also revealing your authority. Where once you felt powerless, you now find yourself praying with boldness. Where once you accepted what life gave you, now you are speaking declarations of faith. This is no accident. Heaven is teaching you to walk in your true identity as one who carries the authority of God's word. Even creation responds to this shift. Have you noticed how peace seems to surround you when you pray? How breakthroughs come faster when you speak life instead of despair? This is the evidence that the atmosphere around you is bending to the Spirit within you. Chosen one. Lean into this shift. Pay attention to the small signs. The atmosphere is like a canvas, and God is painting strokes you may not fully see yet. But when the masterpiece is complete, you will understand why things had to move the way they did. The shift is preparation for manifestation. The old weight is lifting, the fog is clearing, and the road ahead is being paved. Soon, what feels like a stirring will become a flood of answered prayers. Soon, what feels like a breeze will become a mighty wind carrying you forward. Do not resist the changes. Do not cling to what God is removing. Trust the process. For the shift in atmosphere is not against you, it is for you. You are being positioned, adjusted, and aligned so that when the miracle arrives, you will be ready to carry it fully. Chosen one. Lift your eyes. The atmosphere has changed. The storm is ending. The dawn is rising. And this is only the beginning of the glory about to unfold in your life. Chosen one. When heaven desires to confirm a word in your life, it will not leave you wandering in confusion. There are signs, gentle yet undeniable, that align with your spirit in ways logic cannot explain. These confirmations often come through patterns, symbols, and even numbers that repeat in your path. They are not coincidences, they are prophetic confirmations. Sometimes the confirmation comes not only through numbers, but through people. A stranger's words echo what you prayed in secret. A sermon answers the very question you wrestled with. A friend calls at the exact moment you needed hope. These are not accidents. They are heaven's way of saying, I hear you. I see you. Ours, chosen one. Prophetic confirmation can also be felt in your own spirit. You walk into a place and suddenly feel peace, so deep it silences your fear. Or a dream repeats itself with clarity, reminding you of God's promise. These inner signals are gentle yet powerful, urging you to trust what heaven has already decreed. Notice how these confirmations come when you are weakest. They arrive in valleys, not mountaintops, in nights of doubt, not days of certainty. God chooses those fragile moments to speak because He knows your heart is tender and ready to listen. The confirmation is His way of lifting your spirit before despair can win. Chosen one. Treasure these signs. They are like breadcrumbs on the path of destiny, guiding you closer to fulfillment. Each confirmation is a step, each number a marker, each whisper a reminder that you are walking a sacred road. Do not rush past them. Let them strengthen your faith for what is about to manifest. Have you noticed how certain numbers keep appearing before you? On the clock, in receipts, on addresses, in moments too precise to dismiss. These are not random digits. They are the fingerprints of God, weaving reminders into the fabric of your daily life. They whisper, I am with you. Stay the course. The ancient words recorded in Deuteronomy, chapter 19, verse 15, declare, by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses the matter shall be established. Chosen one. Heaven never leaves you without witness. When God speaks, He confirms. And when He confirms, He makes sure the message cannot be mistaken. That is why the numbers repeat, why the patterns align, why the same word keeps reaching you from multiple directions. Heaven is establishing truth in your spirit. Think of Gideon. When called to lead, he doubted his own ability. So he asked for signs. Dew on the fleece one day, dry the next. And God, in mercy, gave him confirmation, not because God was unsure, but because Gideon's heart needed assurance. In the same way, your prophetic confirmations are God's way of strengthening you for what lies ahead. Chosen one. These confirmations are not trivial. They are anchors. When doubt rises, they remind you that you are not lost. When fear whispers, they reassure you that you are aligned with heaven's design. Each number, each pattern is a signature of divine timing. Perhaps you've seen the same sequence over and over on digital clocks, license plates, or even in your dreams. Each time, your heart stirs, sensing meaning beyond chance. That stirring is the Spirit nudging you, saying, pay attention. Heaven is speaking. Oh, and now, as a prophetic act of agreement, I invite you to comment the number 555 below. This number carries the essence of grace multiplied, a symbol of transformation, change, and divine alignment. By writing 555, you are declaring that you recognize heaven's confirmations in your life and that you are ready to step into the shift they signify. Do not treat this lightly. When you type 555, you are not just repeating digits, you are stamping your spirit with recognition. You are saying, I hear, I see, I believe, and heaven responds to such declarations. Chosen one, do you see the pattern? Your life has never been random. The same God who placed stars in constellations and numbered the hairs on your head is the one arranging these confirmations. If he can align galaxies, can he not align the details of your path? These signs are love notes from eternity, reminders that you are not forgotten. They are gentle nudges that keep you steady when the journey feels uncertain. They are the fingerprints of a father who delights in assuring his children, chosen one. Trust these confirmations. Write them down. Hold them close. They are the markers on the road of destiny, guiding you toward the miracle heaven has prepared. And when the fulfillment arrives, you will look back and realize every number, every sign, every pattern was not random. It was prophecy in motion. The signs are speaking. The numbers are aligning. And heaven is declaring, your miracle is near, chosen one. There is a sound in the spirit that only those who have endured deep struggles can recognize, the sound of chains beginning to break. For years, invisible restraints held you, often in ways you could not name. They were not always physical, yet they were real. Cycles that repeated, battles that seemed inherited, weights that clung to you without explanation. These were generational chains, spiritual entanglements, and hidden blockages designed to delay your destiny. At times you wondered, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I fight the same battles my family fought? Why do I feel restricted when I try to step into more? These were not random struggles. They were evidence that unseen chains were tied to your journey. Yet, hear this truth. The sound you hear now is freedom approaching. We find in the book of John, chapter 8, verse 36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. Learn, chosen one. This freedom is more than symbolic. It is real, tangible, unfolding in your life, even now. The very patterns that once repeated endlessly are snapping under the weight of God's authority. The very walls that once caged you are crumbling. The Son himself has declared your release, and nothing can withstand his decree. Look closely at your story. Have you noticed how the desires of your heart are shifting? How things that once bound you no longer hold the same grip? This is the evidence of chains breaking. Addictions lose their taste. Toxic relationships lose their hold. The lies once planted in your mind lose their power. One by one, the links are snapping, and freedom is flowing into your soul. Chosen one. Chains are not only external, many are internal. Words spoken over you as a child, curses whispered in anger, limitations declared by others. These became shackles on your mind. You carried them for years, believing you were not enough, not capable, not worthy. But those were never heaven's words. And now, by the fire of God's truth, those lies are melting away. You may not realize it, but the prayers you prayed in secret, the tears you shed in silence, the endurance you showed when no one saw, all of these were striking blows against those chains. Every whispered, "God, help me," was a hammer. Every act of obedience, no matter how small, was pressure against the lock. And now, the sound of breaking is the reward of your persistence. Think of Paul and Silas in prison, shackled, surrounded by guards. Their situation seemed hopeless, yet at midnight they prayed and sang hymns. And suddenly, an earthquake shook the foundations. Doors flung open, and chains fell loose. That story is not just history, it is prophecy for your life. Your midnight season has been long, but the shaking has begun. The doors are opening. The chains are falling. Chosen one. When chains break, freedom does not come quietly. There is a shift in your atmosphere, a lightness in your steps, a sudden ability to breathe deeper than before. You feel joy return where sorrow sat. You feel hope rise where despair ruled. This is the evidence that what bound you yesterday cannot follow you into tomorrow. Do not fear if some chains still seem present. Freedom often comes in waves. One link breaks today, another tomorrow, until suddenly you realize you are completely unbound. Trust the process. Each day carries more release, more clarity, more space to run without restraint. Chosen one. As the chains fall, something else rises, your authority. The areas where you were once bound are the very areas where you will carry power. If you were chained in fear, you will walk in boldness. If you were chained in lack, you will carry abundance. If you were chained in rejection, you will walk in unshakable identity. Your scars become your crown. Never forget this. Broken chains are not only for you. Others will see your freedom and believe theirs is possible. Your story becomes a key in the hands of those still locked. And when you speak, your words will carry weight, because they were forged in the breaking of real chains. Chosen one. Rejoice quietly in your spirit. The sound you sense, the shift you feel, the release rising, it is the sound of liberty. No curse can hold you. No cycle can repeat against you. No weight can press you down again. You are free, and free indeed. Chosen one. After chains break, there always comes a moment of pouring a fresh release from heaven, a gift of renewal that strengthens the soul for the next chapter. This is the oil of fresh anointing. You have walked through the fire, endured rejection, carried burdens, and survived storms. Now, the oil is being poured upon your head, saturating you with strength, wisdom, and favor you have never known before. The oil is not ordinary. It is not something earned by effort or crafted by human hands. It flows directly from the throne of God, an invisible yet undeniable covering. When the oil comes, it changes everything. Your words carry more weight. Your prayers pierce deeper. Your presence shifts atmospheres. People may not understand it, but they will feel it. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5, "You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows." Albe, chosen one. This overflowing is your portion now. Where you once felt empty, you are being filled. Where you once felt weak, you are being strengthened. The oil is heaven's way of saying, you endured, and now you are ready. It is a sign of consecration, of being set apart, of stepping into a level you could not have accessed before. Think of David. He was overlooked, left in the fields while his brothers stood before the prophet. Yet it was he whom God chose. The oil did not fall on those the world expected it, fell on the forgotten one. The moment the oil touched his head, David was marked. He was still young, still learning, but the oil distinguished him as chosen. So it is with you, chosen one. The fresh oil being poured on you is preparation for battles and blessings ahead. Without it, the weight of destiny would crush you. With it, you carry authority and resilience to stand where others fall. This anointing equips you to discern lies from truth, to speak with boldness, to walk with clarity when others are confused. Do you feel how your perspective is shifting? Where once you saw obstacles, you now see opportunities. Where once fear silenced you, now faith speaks louder. This is not by accident. The oil sharpens your vision. It allows you to see beyond the natural, to sense what is coming before it arrives. Chosen one, understand this. Oil is always released after crushing, just as olives must be pressed to release oil. Your trials were the pressing that prepared your anointing. The nights of tears, the years of endurance, the loneliness, the betrayal, all of it was the press. And now, the result of that pressing is flowing freely upon your life. You may wonder, why me? Why pour oil on one so broken? Because brokenness is the vessel heaven fills. Prideful hearts cannot carry fresh oil, but surrendered ones can. Your humility, your perseverance, your willingness to keep walking, even when wounded, these made you ready. Heaven pours oil not on the strongest by sight, but on those whose spirits have been refined. This anointing will draw attention. Some will celebrate it. Others may envy it, but none can deny it. The oil cannot be hidden. It shines through your words. It radiates through your actions. It lingers in your presence, even without explanation. People will sense there is something different about you. That difference is the oil of fresh anointing. Chosen one. Let this oil remind you that your story is not over. It is just beginning. What you endured was not in vain. It was the preparation for this very moment. You are stepping into a season where doors open, not by force but by favor. Where mountains move, not by your might, but by the anointing upon your life. The oil is heaven's seal. It declares to every realm, visible and invisible, that you are set apart, protected, and empowered. It says, you are no longer merely surviving, you are equipped to reign, to influence, to carry light where darkness once prevailed. So, walk boldly. Chosen one, the fresh oil is upon you, dripping into every crack of your life, filling what was empty, healing what was wounded, empowering what was weary. Your cup is no longer half full, it is overflowing, and from that overflow, you will not only be sustained, but you will also sustain others. The oil has marked you. The season of dryness is over. Step forward, for you are anointed for what comes next. Chosen one. There comes a moment when what has been hidden in silence must be revealed in the open. You endured seasons where no one recognized the weight you carried, where your victories were private and your battles unseen. Yet the time is near when heaven will crown you in the open. This crowning is not about pride, nor is it about human applause. It is about vindication. It is the moment when God Himself reveals before others what He has long whispered to you in secret. The crown is the visible testimony of invisible endurance. The crown does not erase your scars, it honors them. Each mark of pain becomes a jewel in its setting. Each wound a testimony of resilience. What once brought you shame now glitters with glory upon your head. Chosen one. Your crown is not fragile metal, but living fire. It shines because it was forged in trials. It rests upon you not to boast, but to illuminate others. Wherever you walk, The crown declares, "Heaven's hand is upon you." The apostle reminds us in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, "Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me that day." Chosen one, your crown is more than a symbol. It is the proof that you endured, that you remained faithful, that you refused to surrender when surrender seemed easier. The crown declares that though darkness tried to bury you, you rose. Though silence tried to erase you, you remained. Imagine a tree planted deep in hidden soil. For years, no one sees its growth. Roots stretch downward in silence. Trunk thickens slowly. Branches prepare invisibly. Then, suddenly, one spring, blossoms burst forth. Everyone notices the beauty. Yet none saw the years of hidden growth beneath the ground. That is your story. The crown is your blossoms. Think of a sculptor chiseling stone. For months, the rock looks unchanged, as though the strikes were meaningless. But with each tap, unseen progress is made until suddenly the masterpiece emerges. So it is with you. Heaven has been chiseling, and the world is about to see the masterpiece revealed. Chosen one, when your crown appears, some will marvel, some will question, and some will even envy. Yet none can deny what is upon you. The oil already marked you. The chains already fell. And now the crown confirms it all. This is your season of open recognition. Now, allow me to speak with sincerity. If these words have strengthened you, if you feel your spirit rising with each message, then I invite you to help carry this light further. By liking this message, you are lifting it like a torch higher on the hill, so its flame can be seen by others wandering in the dark. By sharing it, you are passing that torch into hands that may desperately need its warmth. By subscribing, you are not just connecting for yourself, you are planting roots in a community of chosen ones who walk this journey together. And if your heart feels stirred to donate, see it not as loss, but as planting a seed in fertile soil. Your giving is like water poured onto a young tree. It ensures the roots stay nourished, the branches keep stretching, and the fruit multiplies for countless others. And here, I ask something small yet profound. Comment below. Not with numbers this time, but with words of life. Write what this journey has meant to you, because your voice may be the very echo another soul needs to hear. Sometimes a simple sentence becomes a lifeline for someone standing at the edge of despair. Chosen one, understand this. Your crown is not only for you. When others see what God has done in your life, they will believe again for themselves. Your testimony becomes a spark, igniting flames of hope in hearts that have grown cold. Your crown is not an ornament, it is a torch. And as you wear it humbly. For every jewel in that crown was purchased with tears. Every gem polished by trials. Every shine birthed through pain. The weight of the crown matches the weight of what you endured. You were not crowned cheaply, you were crowned through fire. Chosen one. Soon you will see how everything aligns. The silence was training. The waiting was preparation. The storms were chisels. And now, the revealing is here. Heaven has chosen to place a visible crown upon you so that all may know you are His. You endured, and you are set apart. So, walk boldly, Hold your head high, not in arrogance, but in gratitude. The crown is yours, not because of luck, not because of ease, but because you never gave up. Chosen one. This is the season where heaven's long-awaited promises begin to manifest before your very eyes. The miracle is not just a faraway word anymore. It is unfolding, breathing, and entering your reality. All the battles you fought, all the tears you shed, all the endurance you carried through seasons of silence have prepared the ground for this moment. Because you never gave up, heaven now releases what was held in store for you. The Word of God declares in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if steadfast." Chosen one. This verse has always been true, but now you are standing at the threshold of its fulfillment. Every act of kindness that went unnoticed, every prayer whispered in weakness, every decision to choose faith over fear, they were all seeds. And seeds never die in heaven's soil. They were growing quietly, hidden beneath the surface. Now, suddenly, they are breaking forth into harvest. Look around you. Things that once felt impossible are beginning to bend in your favor. Opportunities that seemed locked are opening with ease. Places where you felt stagnant now carry movement. The miracle is not coming by your striving, it is flowing by divine release. Heaven has chosen the moment, and that moment is now. Chosen one. Remember how many times you nearly quit, how many nights you convinced yourself you had no strength left, yet somehow found enough to rise the next morning. That somehow was never random. It was God sustaining you because He knew the miracle was near. If you had quit then, you would have forfeited the very release you are now stepping into. Think of the farmer watching his field. For months, he sees only dirt. Yet he keeps watering, keeps tending, keeps protecting. Then, one morning, green sprouts break through the soil, and he realizes his labor was never in vain. That is you now. Chosen one. Your field is sprouting. What looked barren is bursting into life. The miracle will not be small. It will be greater than you imagined. Because heaven does not return in equal measure, it multiplies. You sowed in tears, but you will reap in joy. You endured in silence, but you will celebrate in the open. And those who doubted you, who spoke against you, will witness the fulfillment and know it was God's hand all along. Chosen one. This release is not just about answered prayers, it is about destiny unfolding. The miracle is not only for your comfort, but also for your calling. Heaven is equipping you with what you need to walk into the next level of purpose. This blessing is not temporary relief, it is permanent alignment. Do you sense the shift in your heart? That quiet excitement? That stirring you cannot explain. That is your spirit recognizing the nearness of fulfillment. It is no longer someday. It is now. The doors are swinging. The waters are parting. The provision is arriving. And remember this, miracles rarely come in the form you expect. They come disguised in ordinary moments, through people you did not anticipate, in ways that seem small, until they unfold into greatness. Be alert. Chosen one. Do not miss your release because you were looking for something else. Trust that whatever form it takes, it will be exactly what you need. Think of Hannah, who wept for a child year after year. Her tears seemed wasted, her prayers unanswered. Yet at the appointed time, heaven released Samuel, not just a son, but a prophet who would shape nations. So it is with you. The miracle being released now is bigger than your request. It carries generational impact. Chosen one. Breathe deeply. The weight is over. The heaviness is lifting. The miracle has been released. And soon your hands will hold what your heart has longed for. You did not give up, and heaven has not forgotten. The appointed time has come, and the promise is alive. Walk forward with expectation. Every step you take now is into answered prayer, into fulfilled promise, into manifested destiny. You are living in the season where heaven releases your miracle. Chosen one. The journey you have walked has not only been for yourself. Every valley you endured, every fire you passed through, every tear you shed has been shaping a testimony that will ignite light in others. Now you are living proof of glory. You are not only a survivor, you are a torchbearer. Your life is the evidence that God still intervenes, still restores, still crowns his chosen in the sight of all. From the very beginning, you were marked. You carried burdens heavier than others. Yet you did not break. You were misjudged, misunderstood, and at times cast aside. Yet, through it all, something unshakable held you upright. Now, that strength is visible, not just in your endurance, but in your radiance. You walk differently, not because the road is easier, but because you have become a living testimony that God sustains. The Word of God declares in the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 11, they triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Chosen one. This is your portion. Your testimony is not meant to be silenced. It carries power, power to break chains in others, power to breathe courage into weary hearts, power to point souls back to the one who never abandoned you. The glory you carry now is not just your crown, it is your weapon. Think of how many times you thought the end had come. Each of those moments is now a story you can tell, a living declaration that despair does not have the final word. When you speak, it will not be theory, it will be truth shaped in the fire. This is why your testimony is so weighty, because it has been lived, not imagined. Chosen one. You have become a mirror of hope. When others look at you, they will see themselves, their struggles, their doubts, their fears, but they will also see victory. They will see what it looks like to walk through storms and come out standing. They will see proof that giving up is not the end, and holding on brings glory unimaginable. Your story is more than personal healing. It is a lamp placed on a stand, giving light to everyone in the house. Every scar has become a flame. Every broken place has become a window of light. And through you, others will find the courage to believe again. Chosen one. This is why your life feels so weighty, even now. Glory rests upon you, not only as a gift, but as a responsibility. You are called to shine, to lead, to inspire, not by striving, but by simply being who you are, one who never gave up, one who carries the miracle of endurance. Remember the olive once crushed for oil, the gold once refined for brilliance, the clay once pressed for form. Each of these endured pressure, yet each emerged, carrying something far more valuable. So it is with you. The crushing produced oil, the fire birthed purity, the pressing shaped beauty. You are now the vessel heaven uses to pour into others. Do not underestimate this season. Your words will carry healing. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Your very survival will preach louder than sermons. You are not just blessed, you are a blessing. And wherever you go, light follows. Chosen one. Take a moment to breathe in this truth. You are a living proof of glory. The miracle you received is not hidden, it shines through you. Your smile, once forged through tears, now glows with strength. Your eyes, once heavy with sorrow, now carry fire. Your steps, once trembling, now walk with purpose. Everything about you declares, God has done this. I know, and the journey does not end here. Glory is not static, it grows. As you continue, more miracles will unfold. More testimonies will be written. More lives will be touched. You are part of a river that never runs dry. A story that keeps unfolding. A light that will not fade. Chosen one. Live boldly. Carry your testimony like a torch in the night. Let the world see what endurance looks like. Let the heavens rejoice in your faith. Let the darkness tremble at your light. For you are chosen, crowned, and carrying glory that cannot be contained. Your life is no longer just about survival, it is about shining. It is about being the living proof that heaven's promises are true, that God's mercy is real, that miracles still happen. You are the evidence. You are the torch. You are the chosen one. Chosen one. As this journey closes, let the weight of every word settle deep into your spirit. You have walked through valleys, endured flames, carried burdens, and yet you stand, crowned and radiant. You are not ordinary. You are marked with eternal purpose. The story of your life is not defined by the moments of pain, but by the glory that emerged through them. Every scar has become a testimony. Every loss, a seed of harvest. Every tear, a river of strength. You are not forgotten, not forsaken, not overlooked. You are chosen. Step forward with confidence. What lies behind you prepared you. What lies ahead awaits you. The atmosphere has shifted. The chains are broken. The oil is flowing. The crown rests on your head. And now, the miracle has been released. Carry your story boldly. Let it inspire others. Let it ignite faith. Let it prove that God is faithful. Your life itself is the declaration. Heaven moves. Heaven restores. Heaven crowns. You are living proof of glory, and nothing can take that from you. So, rise. Chosen one, shine in the light of your calling. Walk with your head lifted high, not in pride, but in holy confidence. For you were never meant to blend in. You were always meant to stand out as the living evidence of heaven on earth.